the path you're going to follow from now on. I wonder if I might follow it at your side, and
Yes!
unless I'd be a burden.
Yes! No, you're not a burden. Yes! Yes! Pack your bags. Hopefully they're already packed because the boat's about to leave, but come with me. I just swoop her into my arms. Bye, Kazuma. I just jump from here to the ship like a superhero. To my extortioner, male Stronghart. May you feel the jaws of the beast at your throat every time you swallow. Suck it, Stronghart! Can I say it? Can I say it? Guilty? Guilty? Huh? There's no walking away from this. So now we know, yes. Clint Van Zyke was a murderer. But somebody was directing him and naming his victims. His extortioner? Lord Male Stronghart. It was you! Look at that smug smile. Lord Stronghart, a moment ago, you claimed that what the court had just heard could destroy justice in this country. But you weren't trying to protect justice at all. All you were trying to do was protect yourself. Was conceal the secret of your true nature and the countless lives you've sacrificed up till now. It just didn't make sense to me. That the third victim, the former Lord Chief Justice, was my brother's benefactor and a man of lofty principles. As I said, Clint had no possible reason to kill the man. Unless he had no choice. But you didn't you, Lord Stronghart? To eliminate the man who stood between you and the office you'd set your sights on. So you used your own hunting dog, Lord Clint Van Zyke, to take him down. Now he's speechless. It had to be done. London's unsavory shadows are deep, and the arm of the law falls to reach their depths. Crime must be cut off at the roots, but the Lord Chief Justice at the time couldn't see that. He was weak! Lofty principles, you say? Tantamount to cowardice, if you ask me. Which is why I took his place, in order to fight the crime he was allowing to spread like wildfire. I said wildflower. By murdering the man. What a piece of crap. The Reaper, the Professor, the name makes no difference. As I've explained countless times already, it was all done for the furtherance of law and order in London. Yeah, so that's crazy. We knew that there'd be connections here, but literally, the Professor and the Reaper are one and the same. It's the same thing. It's Lord Stronghart at the head, you know, ordering people to do his bidding. That's all the Reaper and the Professor are.
Objection.
Are you going to legitimize the murder of my father now too? Ah, Genshin Asagi. Well, that was unfortunate. I had fully intended to send him back to Japan, as we'd agreed. I don't believe you. It was you, wasn't it? You killed him. No, it wasn't me who took your father's life. Then who? On the night following his mock execution, I went to Logate Cemetery at 3 in the morning with Jigoku. Judge Jigoku? Oh, did he do it? There had to be a collaborator on the Japanese side to manage Asuki's treatment after his repatriation. Jigoku had fierce ambition. It made him easy to manipulate. 10 years ago, after he stood trial for the destruction of the witness stand, I had words with him. I can't stop laughing. When I told him the position of Minister of Foreign Affairs could be this, he couldn't agree fast enough. Isn't that hilarious? Seishiro, you fool. As you know, Asuki escaped the prison in a closed casket and was subsequently interred. We intended to dig him out of his grave before he ran out of air. But sadly, all did not go to plan. Ah, he was shot. And Drebber found him. There was an unexpected visitor at the cemetery with his own ideas about digging up graves. A man who witnessed what nobody was supposed to see. Enoch Drebber. Of course I knew grave robbers frequented London's cemeteries. but that grave on that particular night. Blast if people found out the convict wasn't really executed. The scandal will rock the very foundations of the Empire. My Empire. Then, what do we do? Shoot her, Mr. Jigoku. Shoot Asagi at once. He can't live now this has happened. He has to go. Well, what are you talking about? You had an agreement. You promised him he could return to Japan. Everything has changed now. If the truth got out because of this, both of us would be finished. Forever. So all because of Drebber, not saying it's his fault, but Drebber's appearance is what sealed Asagi's fate. Come on, Jigoku, do it! Pull the trigger! Shoot! Bang! Man, so they were both there together. Jigoku shot Asagi from the shadows. The grave robber was so close. The blood sprayed over his coat. He fled as fast as his legs would carry him. Then Jigoku and I put Asagi's body back in the grave from which he'd just emerged. Well, dang. All the cases are connected. When I later learnt of the waxwork modeler's presence at the scene as well, I made her swear to two things. Never to remove the professor's mask, and never to speak of the events of that night. Oh, that of course makes perfect sense. Because, he obviously Stronghart knew that was not the right man. That wasn't even the professor. So they want to keep his identity hidden. And with that, the secret was buried along with Asagi's corpse. So, now you know what really happened in Lowgate Cemetery that night. What are you gonna do about it? I know he's still the judge. But he has the whole judiciary watching. Silence from everyone. It was Jigoku, your Japanese acquaintance, who killed Asagi in the end, you see? He claimed to be the man's friend, but when push came to shove, he pulled the trigger. He was coerced into doing it, but just before Mr. Jigoku left the courtroom earlier, he said that the assassin exchange proposal was a demand from his British counterpart, not a request. So you coerced him too, using what happened in the graveyard. By the time Jigoku was the Minister of Foreign Affairs, negotiating international treaties with Britain, you can imagine what would have happened if it came to light he'd murdered a compatriot 10 years earlier. He would have lost everything. I merely reminded him of that. How do you sleep at night? Easily. He has no conscience whatsoever. These past 10 years I fought tirelessly with the darker recesses of London's criminal underworld. And I've used whatever means necessary to ensure that justice prevails and law and order reigns supreme. Sounds like he's just trying to convince himself that he's doing the right thing now. Like everything, even if there's some things he didn't think he did then, the fact that he's in this position as Chief Justice and that he can, take out criminals and whatever. It's all to keep law and order, baby. That's it. That couldn't be further from the truth. The fact is, you haven't fought crime at all. How dare you? I saved Clint Van Zykes from dishonor in his death.
Objection.
Whilst behind the scenes, you systematically buried anyone who stood in your way. And then, you made my father take the blame. It was unavoidable. It was the only way to protect our justice system and public order. Yeah, he did what he had to do in his eyes. Let's not forget the others you had killed as well. Setting the defendant up as the Reaper to cover up the truth behind the murders of countless more. That's enough! Do you have any idea of the conniving that led to the acquittal of those wretched criminals? We have to fight fire with fire. Our courts can't function without a Reaper. Can't you see all I've done for this country? This has been my struggle.
Objection.
You've done nothing. It's Lord Van Zykes here who worked tirelessly and justly in court whilst enduring the disgrace of the Reaper name. And he did nothing to relieve that. He was fine letting everyone think he was the Reaper. And Inspector Gregson fought with anguish for having sullied his hands through a desire to do the right thing. Not to mention Ganshin Asagi, who risked his life going in pursuit of the truth you tried to hide. No, the darker recesses of London's underworld was largely filled by you. You little... When will you get it through your thick skulls? Oh, he's going full on evil here. Those woeful queen and country. I'm tiring of that excuse. You've constantly twisted the truth for bargaining power to make others do your bidding, nothing more. Damn it all. People who willingly twist the truth and coerce others have no right to call themselves part of the judiciary. But you are a douchiary. I was calling him a douche. I strongly suggest you don't ever talk of justice again. Grrr. Grrr. Freak out. Grrr. Smash the table. What a drama queen, am I right, people? He died. Aha! Well done, everyone! Slow clap! Well, well, well. Dear me, my good fellows! Dear me! What rhythm? Well, there's a round of applause, I think, for quite a marvelous performance. Aha! What are you talking about? Oh my gosh! Those delightfully grave expressions, that beautifully pronounced Queen's English! It's getting faster. Oh my god! Oh, look at me! Really, our friends from the Far East are quite the picture of industriousness. You fraud! Keep your mockery. Please don't misunderstand. It really is exactly as you both said. What are you trying to say? I have occupied the darker recesses of London's underworld and, how did you put it, done nothing? I confess it's a little embarrassing to have it pointed out quite so starkly, but yes, I really have done nothing. Which means I can be indicted for nothing. No? Oh, I see what he's saying. He's saying he didn't actually carry out anything. He had other people do it. I don't think it works that way, though. What? It's true. Personally, I've committed no crime. I've merely been surrounded by fools who've acted very rashly indeed.
Objection.
Bull crap. You can't get away with that. You've consistently preyed on people's weaknesses. And what threatened them? Are you sure it wasn't just bargaining? I would like to address all the good lords, ladies, and gentlemen of the judiciary here present. You all know these darker recesses in our great capital, and deep down I believe you also know that to fight those who dwell here, or there, requires at least some of us to occupy the darkness ourselves. So let me appeal to your good sense now. Consider the situation with me. I swear, this judiciary, if they side with you after all this, if this catalogue of horrifying revelations were to become common knowledge among the 6 million inhabitants of London, what might happen? Oh gosh. To learn that the infamous murderer of royals and nobles was a respected member of the aristocracy himself, that evidence was fabricated in the scapegoat's trial amid secret negotiations with prosecutors to effect a jailbreak, that the Reaper of the Bailey was an organized group of assassins managed by a Scotland Yard inspector, and finally, that it was all masterminded by the Lord Chief Justice himself. I mean, he's got a point. It would all just crumble, right? The guy at the tippy top of everything orchestrated all of this. If the general public of Britain knew the truth, all faith in the police and prosecutor's office would be completely lost, without doubt. Public order in the capital would completely break down. We'd be cast back to lawless days of the last century. Precisely, as it was 100 years ago, when 1 in 10 of the population were criminals. Think what we'd have accomplished since then. a public policing force, a comprehensive set of laws. And if we want to continue to protect this new era of law and order, I say again, we must at times occupy the darkness ourselves. I fundamentally disagree. Otherwise, we're no different than the criminals we're fighting against. We have successfully identified and apprehended the man responsible for taking Inspector Gregson's life. That is all that was expected of this trial. All these other matters that have been discussed will be eliminated from the minutes of the proceedings in the interest of preserving law and order. And to protect Her Majesty the Queen, of course. Not myself in any way. Well, my lords, ladies, and gentlemen, what say you? Don't give in. He has a point. The things Lord Stronghart has done are quite unforgivable. But on the other hand, it is our duty to maintain law and order in the capital. You can't deny that the threat of the Reaper over the years has done wonders for the crime rate. Oh, come on, guys. And by fair means or foul, that's all thanks to Lord Stronghart. No, shut up. What? He's your hero now? Are you serious? Are you hearing this? This is the wall of the British judiciary. Oh, look, he's reveling in it. For your arousing response, friends, I express my heartfelt gratitude. Therefore, in accordance with the overwhelming wishes of the court, the record shall be erased. You have to respect the man's ability to turn a situation to his favor. Lord Stronghart really is a master of manipulation. Now, we still haven't used this. I wonder if we could maybe use it as a recording device, like it puts us through to Sholmes, right? So maybe if we can somehow record what, I mean, I don't know if that seems highly illegal, but if we could record what the judge is saying. You've conclusively proven his guilt, yet still he manages to evade justice. I just don't know what we can do. Ryunosuke. It looks like the trial really is going to come to an end now. I'm almost out of options, I think. There's really only one path left open to me. Oh my god! You can still hear them chanting even on the save menu. Oh, that's wild. I'm gonna try using evidence, and I'm gonna try getting in touch with Sholmes, I guess. I saved, so... You got this, Ryunosuke. Wow, they actually shut up at you. That's how loud your slam is. Yes, as I know only too well. The only thing that carries any weight in court is hard evidence. But, Mr. Naruhodo, what evidence is there to use at this stage in the trial? I have an idea. I don't know whether anything will come of it, but if there was ever a time for using this particular item we have among the evidence, it's now. It's gotta be this, right? Sholmes made sure to remind us of it.
Take that!
Oh my! Yes, Mr. Sholmes asked if you had that with you earlier. We've exposed all of Lord Stronghart's wrongdoings now. I've no doubt that Mr. Sholmes had already deduced exactly how the truth would unfurl. He's such a genius, so I think it must be time for the great detective to take center stage, don't you? Yes, absolutely. Let's take the hair by the ears then, and heave! Ho! Alright, here goes. Heave! Ow, 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 ow! My dear fellows, must I remind you every time? A gentle tug will suffice. Mr. Sholmes, you're looking in quite the wrong direction, Mr. Naruhodo. Because I'm over here. Mr. Naruhodo, he's a hologram? What? It's Mr. Sholmes. What the heck am I looking at? Do we have that technology? I wasn't expecting you back, Sholmes. What is happening? Delighted to be here again, Lord Stronghart. Who invited you? What is the meaning of this? Bailiff, seize him! Put that man in irons. This is a closed court. You've been warned once already, man. What the? We can get hold of him, my lord. We just go right through him. I'm afraid your efforts are wasted. Ha! I'm doing a little dance, see? Nothing can get me. The great detective you see before you is composed entirely of light and shadow. An image, if you will. Since when did we go into the future? Mr. Naruhodo, I must congratulate you on your fine deductions. This suddenly became very sci-fi. Mr. Sholmes, what on earth is... Are you familiar, I wonder, with the invention known as the telephone? Well, yes. I hear that some public telephones have been installed recently in Tokyo. Last I checked, they couldn't do this. They can't do this in 2023. The sound of the speaker's voice is converted to an electrical signal and transmitted instantly to another place. Quite. Sounds are transmitted. So, could not images keep them company, I mused? You invented this, didn't you? Iris and I did some modest experimentation to develop such a device specifically for this very day. Modest experimentation, Mr. Sholmes? What a modest description. Yeah, really. And somewhat incidentally, I thought we might just as well transmit an entire scene. Somewhat incidentally, Mr. Sholmes? Now you're just being immodest. Do you mean to say you're not actually here, Sholmes? I knew my trusty partner would have no trouble grasping the concept. He looks very confused. Except he's grasping the stand to steady himself after your shock arrival. Poor father. I would have hoped he might have been forewarned, being the great detective's great partner. Leave my courtroom at once. Get out, or I swear to you. Dear me, you, on the other hand, Lord Stronghart, appear to have a very poor grasp of the situation. Allow me to reiterate, I am not here, which would, I hope, lead naturally to one asking, where exactly are you? The very question I was awaiting. I am at present enjoying the air in a rather splendid garden. A garden? Not just any garden, you understand. A garden at Buckingham Palace. What? You can't be. Buckingham Palace? Are you with the Queen right now? What's Buckingham Palace, Miss Suzuto? I've never heard of it. Do you ever read the news, Mr. Naruhodo? Are you serious right now? Mr. Sholmes? Is Iris with you there? Ah, well now. Iris is currently enjoying some tea. With Her Majesty. Her Majesty? Not just any Her Majesty, you understand. Her Majesty the Queen of the British Empire. What? That's right, so has she heard any of this? What on earth is this all about? Buckingham Palace is Her Majesty the Queen's residence in London, Mr. Naruhodo. Order in court. I demand immediate silence. Her Majesty the Queen? You can't be. I mean, no. This is some sort of unforgivably distasteful trickery by a third-rate detective, that's all. Unforgivably distasteful trickery? What an apt description. A closed court session attended by elite members of the judiciary is a rare event. I presume that Her Majesty was more than a little curious about the proceedings. So I decided to show her. Everything. From start to finish. Huh? You showed her? Sholmes coming in for the clutch. Indeed. By dint of the Herlock Sholmes remote cinematograph. You meddling. This is some kind of nightmare. Aha! Here I am. Just as I appear to be standing before you regarding you with talk of my latest invention. No doubt you've inferred that the reverse is also true. You don't mean... Her Majesty has seen and heard every moment of the proceedings. I assume there will be no objection. After all, every trial in this country is conducted under the auspices of Her Majesty, as you know. You... I confess I'm quite impatient to hear Her Majesty's opinion. about the unforgivably distasteful trickery in which you've been engaged over the past 10 years? No, I was merely... Oh, so sorry to keep you all waiting. Vicky and I had so much to talk about. Queen Vicky. I guess Queen Victoria. Iris, there you are. Imagine the Queen just appears. In fact, I have a little message here from Her Majesty. A message? Well then, if everyone is sitting comfortably. Ahem. Forthwith and with immediate effect, all authority previously offered to Mayor Stronghart is hereby revoked. Forevermore. Ugh. Furthermore, he will be prosecuted for crimes against his country in a public trial by jury in the coming days. So it seems that Her Majesty doesn't believe we need to fight fire with fire. Justice in this country needn't be administered from the shadows at all. Suck it, Stronghart. Male Stronghart. The darkness you fostered to conceal your despicable actions these last 10 years is a thing of the past now. After today, you are Lord Weakheart. Your brand of law and order has no future, because no longer are you the Lord Chief Justice. In the eyes of the law and of Her Majesty the Queen, you are nothing but a criminal. That's right. Adjourned! 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 Court is adjourned! Get the hell out of my courtroom! Ah, dead. We killed him. Super guilty. Oh, I love that. The scales of justice completely tipped over. Is it gonna kill him? Oh. Wait, what's happening? What's happening? Ah! That was so cool. That was so cool. That was the, hands down, the coolest frickin' freak out. Oh, look at the man. Oh man, wait, I'm sorry. I can't get over that. I was so into that too. That scream. I couldn't help myself. He is burnt to a crisp. I feel like there was a lot of symbolism there too. The scales of justice completely tilting and just falling on him basically. Ooh, that scream hurt my voice though. Anyway, Lord Clint Van Zyke left a will in which he confessed to everything. When those words came out of Oski's mouth, it deranged me completely. I knew I must do anything and everything in my power to contain the situation. But I couldn't find the damn document. I searched the cell, but it wasn't there. Which precipitated the jailbreak plot, I presume? What do you mean? The need to obtain that will was all-consuming. I was sure that if I facilitated Oski's escape, he would emerge with the will somewhere on his person. Ah, okay. But despite searching his limp body in the cemetery that night, it still eluded me. It never even crossed my mind that it was concealed in the sword's hilt. Well, it was. And that was a decisive piece of evidence we needed. What pains me now is that my brother left this world without a word to me. I'm sorry, Lord Van Zykes. In point of fact, I think perhaps that isn't the case. Sorry? How can that be? There is more to his last will and testament. What? Oh, we didn't read the whole thing? Okay, is this Yuzuru now? As I confront the prospect of my demise, I feel bitter regret for my younger brother. Barrack, you have always looked up to me, and now you follow in my footsteps to become a prosecutor. It is my fervent wish that my unspeakable deeds should not hinder your advancement. Oh. That's true. Having a brother as a serial killer or whatever, as a killer, could damage his reputation. I ask not for understanding, for none could understand my depravity. I ask only for forgiveness. He was thinking of you, man, in his final moments. Asuki is a fine detective and a hunter worthy of respect. He has agreed to honor my final 2 wishes. The first is that this document survives. The second, I cannot commit to paper. I have confessed my sins to my wife. May she find resolution in my death. With my eternal gratitude to my Japanese friend, I rest my quill. Clint Van Zykes. Clint. Well, I'm glad he got to read that will, at least. Male Stronghart? You colluded with Seishiro Jigoku in a criminal plot so immense it spanned the oceans. And you cold-heartedly murdered all those who knew the truth about what happened 10 years ago. But why did you set about that now, a whole decade later? To ascend to the very peak. Power? These last 10 years made me realize being the Lord Chief Justice wasn't enough. Short of becoming Her Majesty's Attorney General, I could have no real power to effect the changes needed in this country. So he took it into his own hands. And for that promotion, I needed to ensure no remnants of the past remained. How could you? I like everything to run smoothly in the exact manner that I prescribe, like a well-oiled machine. And I was just a step away. And for your ambition to succeed, did you even bother to count the number of brilliant people you had killed? I'm sure he's well aware. Ah, Mr. Reaper, are you not forgetting something? Such as... Wait, why are you calling him the Reaper? Unless you're talking about Stronghart. You very much adopted your usual prosecutor-like demeanor in the proceedings now. But the reality of the situation is that you are the defendant in this trial. Ah, I'd forgotten about that. However, the presiding judge would appear to have fallen from the bench, as it were. Huh. Hey, look who it is! May I suggest, therefore, that we entrust the final adjudication to an old friend? My lord. It is I, the actual judge. As a member of the judiciary, I've been following the proceedings from the gallery. And I must say, I shan't ever forget the extraordinary battle between good and evil that I witnessed here today. I am a fair and honest judge. The darkness that has blighted justice in our land these past 10 years has at last been dispelled. Thanks in no small part to the efforts of a bright young star from the east. Defense Counsel Naruhodo. Yes, my lord? On behalf of everyone here present in the Old Bailey, I give you my heartfelt thanks. You're too kind, my lord. The first time I faced you in court, just under a year ago now. Man, it's been less than a year? I heard the faintest of intimations that a British justice so warped and twisted over its long history was finally to no change. This might just be the man to do it. And you were right. What? But at the time, I wouldn't allow myself to acknowledge the possibility. I couldn't overcome my hatred of the Japanese after the circumstances of my brother's death. I mean, it's very understandable at this point. Mr. Naruhodo, I salute thee. Allow me to apologize for countless discourtesies on my part. You are a lawyer of boundless talent. Thanks, bestie. Oh, Lord Van Zykes. When I first arrived in Great Britain, I was literally a nobody. Certainly not a lawyer. The truth is, my fortunes have entirely been made by the miraculous people I've met. My best friend Kazuma Asagi, who led me here to Britain in the first place. Don't forget about Suzuro. My loyal and ever-patient judicial assistant, Miss Suzuro, who helped me study to become a lawyer. The brilliant Lord Van Zykes, who never failed to challenge his Nipponese rival. And not to mention, the exceptional master of logic and reasoning, who showed me the true art of deduction, Mr. Sholmes. Ha! That's a bit of a stretch, but okay. Saving the best for last, Mr. Naruhodo. What a relief. Now, I can't make fun of Sholmes. He actually came through a lot in this last case. He may be a buffoon, but he's my buffoon. I'm well aware that without all these people's help and support, I wouldn't be where I am today. The truth is a guiding light that always leads to happiness. I've lived by that principle for a long time now. But actually, it's not true. The truth can also cause great pain. Sometimes even leave people on the brink of despair. Ryunosuke, this is not a Danganronpa game. And for that reason, there are there are those who feel the need to hide the truth, who do it instinctively even. But as soon as we allow our eyes to settle on something other than the truth, the darkness takes hold. And from there it grows, until eventually it makes us blind to the guiding light of the truth altogether. So that's why it's my belief that we must all resolve never to avert our eyes from what is just and true. And I'll slap my cheeks as much as I have to uncover the truth. It helps for some reason. So that we can continue to walk the straight and narrow path ahead. Yeah, Suzuro, Kazuma, Van Zykes, Sholmes, I guess. Well, I must excuse myself now. But before I go, Mr. Naruhodo, let me compliment you on your grand opus. What? Without your beautifully composed case against Lord Stronghart, Her Majesty would have been unable to act. Thanks to you and your fellows, the haunting undertones corrupting Britain's justice system have been silenced. Thank you very much. Goodbye. So, until our paths cross again somewhere. Bye! Well then. Enough of this sentimental nonsense. I came here for one reason. It would appear that this long trial has finally come to an end. And I do mean long. My apologies for any anxiety caused, my lord. I'm quite sure we shall meet again here in the courtroom before long, Prosecutor Baddock von Zykes. In conclusion of these proceedings, I hereby declare the defendant Baddock von Zykes not guilty. Come on, bring the confetti. And the fireworks. We deserve lots of fireworks. Just don't blow up the courtroom or something. Phew! This has been a long recording. That is all. Court is adjourned. And of course we still have like the actual conclusion of the game, the credits, my thoughts on the game. I might have to split this into 2 episodes. We will see. I'll see what the final recording count is. But that was intense. 4th of November, 4:21 p.m. The Old Bailey. Defendant's Antechamber. It really is all over. But did I sacrifice too much? Mr. Naruhodo! Suzuro, my girl, my assistant. I really must congratulate you. It was a truly, truly splendid performance. Honestly, I couldn't be happier for you. Oh, thank you very much. But I really couldn't have done it without you at my side through it all, Miss Suzuro. Oh. Your kind words mean so much to me. It really was a very splendid show, that, Naruhodo. I'd have thought you'd be smiling from ear to ear. But you look rather glum. No, just tired. Well, of course I'm delighted about the verdict. But in exposing the truth, I'm afraid I've caused my client a great deal of pain. My bestie. I'm really not sure that's what a lawyer ought to be doing. Oh well, in that case, I'm quite sure that when you see Lord Van Zykes' smiling face, everything will seem much better. Yeah, because he's a very smiley guy. I'm not smiling. I wonder if we'll get to see him smile. Come on, just do it for me. Miss Suzuto. Everything seems worse. He has a face like thunder. Oh dear. I really shouldn't have presumed. Mr. Naruhodo. Yes? Almost a year it's been now, since I first encountered you here in this very courthouse. For you to have risen to the level of excellence you had demonstrated today, well, it's quite remarkable. Thank you. I appreciate that. But I exposed the most impalatable truth you could ever have imagined in court today. I feel as though I've robbed you of something you held so dear. I have a feeling he's somebody who probably values the truth. What was it he said? To fight those who dwell in the darkness requires at least some of us to occupy the darkness ourselves. But that was just the feeble excuse of a coward. Only those with a steadfast eye for the truth have what it takes to fight the dark forces of crime. Which we did, together. You made fine work of establishing that fact in court today. Oh. Well, thank you. What magnanimous words. I'm quite sure that Kazuma-sama would have a smile on his face at this very moment if you were here. Are you sure about that? Kazuma. He's gonna show up. Oh, I'm sorry, he just looks pissed. Miss Suzuto? 0 for 2. There's another face like thunder here. Oh my. And he really was here. I gotta learn to read people better. Or read the room. Lord Van Zykes? Allow me to congratulate you on your acquittal. Congratulate me, or curse me. You failed to bring down the Reaper. I mean, he did, though. I owe you an apology. No, it is I who should apologize. Your father, Genshin. If I had been stronger, then perhaps I made an unforgivable error of judgment. I can offer no excuse. Yeah, you're right. And I can offer no forgiveness. That said, I suppose you fought for justice and the truth. For that, at least, I can't withhold respect. Your words mean more to me than you could know. I will hold them dear. Ah, this is a nice, sweet moment. Kazuma-sama. Yeah, it's interesting. It's not like the celebratory, like, yes, we won! Woohoo! We got the guy, you know? It really did cause a lot of damage. You know, with these two, and who knows what'll happen with the court system, but the truth is what's important. I must say, there's one thing that's still bothering me. What's that? The will that Lord Clint Van Zykes wrote before his duel with my father. What about it? Asuki is a fine detective and a hunter worthy of respect. He has agreed to honor my final 2 wishes. The first is that this document survives. The second, I cannot commit to paper. Yeah, do we know what that second one is? I have confessed my sins to my wife. May she find resolution in my death. With my eternal gratitude to my Japanese friend, I rest my quill. Clint Van Zykes. What can the second of his final wishes have been? That your father agreed to honor, you mean? Who's this? I think perhaps Sholmes? Who is it? Ah, Mikitoba, right, you're here. I might be able to shed some light on that. What? Father? It was 10 years ago, as you know. The day before the execution was scheduled. I went to the prison to say my farewells to Genshin. Why aren't you putting up more of a fight, Genshin? If you'd only agree to it, Seishiro and I would gladly petition the government. We've been through this already. You don't need to worry about me. Anyway, Eugen, I have a favor to ask of you. Something of great importance. What is it? So many people went to visit him. You're one of my greatest friends, Genshin. Whatever it is, consider it done. I'm going to tell you an address. I need you to go there, and once, in secret and telling no one. You should find a lady of the gentry in hiding there. A lady of the gentry? She's not in a good way, and she's with child. The birth is imminent. As a medical man, I'd like you to attend to her. Please, you're her only hope. By any chance, is the child yours, Genshin? Don't be daft. Oh. Okay, are we gonna... Could this be Iris? Like, not the woman who's pregnant. Could Iris be the baby? And I'm assuming he's talking about Clint. Yeah, it's a favor he was asked me by a man I knew of his dying wish. I bet you that's it. My goodness. I swore to the man that I would help. That I would do whatever I could for his wife and his unborn child. But if something should happen to me, I need to ask that you that same favor. You're the only person I know that I can truly rely on. What did you say? If something would happen to you, tomorrow night you're going to be... You never know though, do you? What life will bring. He's still holding out hope that he might get out of there. Alright then, tell me the address. I'll head there at once. With Seishiro and... No! Not with him. Pardon? This is a favor I'm asking of you. And only you, Eugen. Does he know Jigoku's involved in all this? Not Mikotoba, but Genshin? Right, I see. Very well then. Interesting. That very night I caught a train from Paddington to Dartmoor and Devon. Those are places. I found the old house in the middle of nowhere it was. An old hunting hound lay asleep in the grounds. That would be, what's his face? The poor woman was on the floor at the back of a darkened room. She was in mortal danger. I broke her waters to precipitate the labor before she weakened further. But it was a torturous birth. I did everything humanly possible for her and her child. Did she end up dying? I hope not. I wouldn't be surprised if she did, though. Maybe she died in childbirth. Again, I think this is Iris. And in the end, I was lucky enough to welcome a new life in the world. But tragically, my efforts to save the mother's life were in vain. I held the healthy newborn girl in my arms and wept for longer than I care to remember. Eventually, in something of a daze, I looked around the room. And what did you see? There was precious little in it, but an old travel trunk caught my eye. It had clearly been well looked after over the years, made of top quality leather with fine stitching. It's not Gregson's, is it? But it was when I saw the emblem on the side of it that everything dropped into place. Oh no, it's the Baskervilles. B for Baskerville. But Baskerville? You mean the woman was the wife of Lord Clint Van Zykes? I figured it had to be. That's right. The newborn was his daughter. Iris, I'm assuming. But that makes no sense. Why on earth wouldn't Clint have entrusted the child to my care in that case? That's a good point. I was completely unaware that he even had a daughter. I suppose he didn't really have any choice. What? Well, your brother said that he'd confessed everything to his wife. So she must have been beside herself with worry for her child. If the true identity of the professor were ever to be made public, the girl would be forever branded as the daughter of the infamous mass murderer. Ah, true. So the only solution was to distance the young girl from the Van Zuyck's family as much as possible. I don't believe it. I imagine that in his final hour, Lord Clint Van Zuyck made the obvious choice. He would have thought to himself, this Japanese man here is someone I can trust. But how did he end up with how'd she end up with Sholmes then? I honored my promise to Genshin, of course. However, only a month later, I was summoned back to Japan. Without disclosing the parentage of the child, I couldn't obtain permission to take her with me. I mean, unless we're talking about Suzuto here, I just know that there's the question lingering in the air. I'll feel like an idiot if they're talking about Suzuto this whole time, but we still have that lingering question in the air about Iris. And, you know, we already mentioned that we thought at one point that she was his child, Mikotoba's. But maybe he wasn't actually her father, but he'd just been watching over her. Oh, he said he couldn't obtain permission to take her with him. Oh, how awful. Yeah, it's gotta be Iris. I was completely at a loss. In the end, I had to ask my great friend, Sean. Of course, duh. I asked him if he would be father to her. That being Mr. Sholmes, I presume? Yes. He took one look into my eyes and agreed to it on the spot. Oh, what a nice gesture. Mr. Sholmes. He has a heart of gold. Really, all that can be said that I did for the child was to give her a name. Oh? When I come to Britain, I was trying to escape from the grief of losing my darling wife. So it was her name that I gave the little girl. Your wife's name, Professor Mikotoba? In other words, the name of my mother. Ayame Mikotoba. Wait, that's not Iris. unless Ayame is Iris in Japanese. Oh. That's right. Ayame. Or in English, Iris. Ah. Iris. I had no idea. Ding dong. Ouch. Mr. Naruhodo, what's wrong? I don't know what that was. This little thing just pinched me on the behind through my trouser pocket. Hard. I guess that means Sholmes is trying to get in touch with us now. Ah, my dear fellows, can you hear me? Mr. Sholmes, is that you? Ding dong. Ouch. Yes, we can hear you. You see what excessive tugging can do? Let that be a lesson to you. Mr. Sholmes, we weren't able to thank you properly before, but you were simply marvelous. Your checkmate move was a stroke of genius. Indeed it was, wasn't it? I surpassed myself, I feel. It had become apparent to me that to stop the Lord Chief injustice would require such measures. I like that, that's a good one. Runo! Susie! Oh, Iris, you are not gonna believe this. What we just found out. Oh, I'm so pleased, what a wonderful outcome. Her Majesty Queen Vicky said she thought my special blend was delicious. Oh, I'm sure she did. This is awkward. After all, no one brews a more delicious tea than you do, Iris. Let's have a party to celebrate. And Mr. Reaper, you simply must come too. What? Everyone's still calling him Mr. Reaper. Oh, I'm afraid I couldn't. The Reaper the Bailey, flustered by a 10-year-old girl. Again. No, really? Oh, pooh. Winnie the Pooh. But I give you my word that I shall present myself to a residence in the near future to express my gratitude. Okay, that's a start. Oh, how lovely. You promise now? I won't let you forget. Bye for now, then. Alright, Iris. Thank you for all your help earlier. Oh, that was nothing. Just come back home soon. You got it. Ouch! Ugh. One final pinch goodbye, was it? Unless Sholmes wasn't done talking to us. Yay, the celebratory music. Well, I think I ought to be leaving. Lord Van Zykes, would you care to accompany me? Certainly. Mr. Naruhodo, allow me once again to express my deep gratitude to you. I believe you saved my life. Just imagine if you didn't ask me to defend you. Where would you be now, hey Van Zykes? I don't want to think about it. Are you gonna smile for me? Or is that not gonna happen? Wait, Lord Van Zykes? Yes. What are you intending to do now? Well, clearly, I shall have to resign from the prosecutor's office. Oh no! I intend to publicize the full truth about the Professor case. Once that's done, the Van Zykes family will be ostracized completely from London society. Surely not. As soon as I am free from my employment, I shall leave the capital. You're welcome in Japan. Oh, I see. Who's this? Don't be a fool. Figured it was Kazuma. Were those the actions of a man once feared as the mighty Reaper of the Bailey? I beg your pardon. For the past 10 years, you've endured that pseudonym and been cast as one of the Dark Forces yourself. Now that you've finally been freed from that disrepute, your battle is just beginning, surely. Well, I certainly never expected to hear those words from your lips. But here we are. I waited a very long time to come to London. Now I'm properly here. I intend to learn all that I can. Give me a tour. Anyway, goodbye for now, Ryunosuke and Naruhodo. Kazuma Asagi. It seems as though he's really matured suddenly. And to think not that long ago we thought he was dead. He's not the only one who's matured, Mr. Naruhodo. Huh? Well, I think we should make our way back to Baker Street. We must help Iris with tonight's dinner. We must! I am starving. It was then that I came to an important decision about my future. "4th of November, 6:25 p.m. Sholmes' suite." Oh, that's right. Don't we still have to address what Mikitoba asked, which was to leave Britain and go back to Japan to help change their justice system, I guess, or to help it. I'm home. Oh, Jesus! No, don't shoot! Ah! About time you got here. We've been waiting ages, Odo. Where you been? What are you doing with that colorful piece of history? It's a party, isn't it? He's got to go off with a bang. I mean, fireworks, ideally. But I didn't have any. So I just shot you with purple's powder. But when you ain't got fire, smoke's the next best thing, ain't it? There's a girl on Fresno Street who could help you with that, I think. Did we invite her? Right. I'll remember that. What are you doing? You don't have to reload that thing every time I speak. Yes, I do. You really must hear this. It's quite the most extraordinary thing. Sholmes, I assure you it will defy your expectations. Take down every detail now, Mikitoba. Ah, the world-famous great detective, regaling his partner with the tale of his adventure. A sight to behold. Would you care to hazard a guess? Where do you suppose the fiendish runaway had concealed himself? Would you believe? Inside the trunk I found abandoned in his cabin. I would believe it, yes, but wasn't he there? Unless we're talking about a different thing. I say, Mikitoba, I detect not a hint of surprise. I wonder why that is, huh? Maybe because I was there at the scene as well, Sholmes, you idiot. I was gonna say... What? You were? Then why the deuce didn't you say so before? Not quite the sight I was expecting to behold. But still, I'm gonna pretend I didn't see that. It's hard not to feel privileged to see it. Hello, Mr. Sholmes, Professor Mikitoba. I'm finally back from the Bailey. And not a moment too soon. A feast prepared by Iris and Miss Suzuto awaits. I must say, I haven't seen Suzuto looking so happy in a very long time. It's because she's with me. Ah, Runo, there you are! Dinner is on the table, everyone. Please do come and take a seat. Time to fill my boots. Whatever that means. I'm just gonna stuff my boots with food. Since I don't have a takeout container. Goodness, is that really true, Gina? Yup. I'm losing me copper's clobber and going back to what know best. It's a diver's life for me. I would say that's a step down, but you do you. You're really leaving the police force? But why, Ginny? Yeah, I was no good at it. Well, the boss ain't around no more, so... Oh. And anyway, no matter how hard I try, that Reaper ain't never gonna accept a diver turned dick, is he? What? I know what she means. That's an old-timey term for cop, but... That was a fun expression. Diver turned dick, is he? I want to find a way to use that in conversation. No, I'm kidding. That'll never happen. Well, people can change, you know. Ah, yes. That reminds me. I rather thoughtfully offered to relieve the bailiff of this now defunct piece of evidence. Eh? Oh, that's the pocket watch. It's the inspector's pocket watch. And the crown has been reattached. Gina deserves to have it. That watch was his pride and joy, a symbol of his great achievements at Scotland Yard. For 10 years, without fail, it measured every second of the man's remarkable career. But now, it stopped. But didn't we discover that it wasn't broken? You can just, like, turn it? Someone needs to keep the memory of Inspector Gregson's career alive. By taking on the great responsibility of winding that watch every single day. Again. Yes, someone with an equally fierce detective spirit. Talking about me? It's gotta be me. There ain't no one else. That's what we were getting at. Quite right. I mean, after all, the boss was... Well, he was my boss. Yes, Ginny. Yes, he was. Give us that smile. Oh yeah, and I made you promise an old, didn't I, Iris? That I'd become a proper detective one day and track down your old man. Oh. Alright then, it's decided. I'll do it. And I swear, we kinda know who it is, but I'll find your dad and bring him kicking and screaming. Yeah, about that. I'm not entirely sure that would be appropriate. You'd have to dig up his lifeless body. Yes, I think, Gina, it might be... I think I'd like to get that promise, Ginny. Eh? Iris? Well, obviously I've always wondered about who my real daddy is. Of course I have. I wanted to know where I've come from. I thought it might tell me something about myself. But of course it's a lot of trouble trying to find out. For so many people. Hurley, Runo, Professor Mickey... Oh no, not at all, my dear. Really, you owe no apology to anyone. Well, anyway, I've decided to give up on it. Because I finally realized my daddy is the greatest in the world. Sholmes? I don't think it matters what his name is or where he's from. Oh, okay. I thought she was trying to say Sholmes is my dad. Oh, okay. Don't you agree, Hurley? Yeah, Sholmes is your dad. With every word, Iris. Thank you, Hurley. Thank you, Daddy. Oh, it's so cute. She never called him as her dad before. She never addressed him as such. You're welcome, daughter dearest. I think, Mikatoba. Yeah, Sholmes. You can have it now. I think that I ought to express my gratitude to you. Oh? For 6 years, you and I solved many a mystery together. And during that time, I remember countless expressions of gratitude for our good services. But a moment ago, I heard the most pleasing expression of gratitude of them all. and I should never have experienced it, were it not for you. You old softy, Sholmes. Aha. But I must confess, it's a weight off my mind to hear you say it. Well then, I think this called for a lengthy violin recital, wouldn't you say? Oh well, the food would go cold, that's the only problem. Maybe next week, Hurley? Are you sure a week is long enough, Iris? Ah ha 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 ha! I'm so witty. Even amidst the most troubling of cases, even reeling from the most shocking of revelations. Returning in the evening to this suite of rooms, there's always warmth and happiness to be had. The home of the world's greatest detective, and my home too, with my greatest family. Oh. 4th of November, 9:37 p.m., Naruhodo's Legal Consultancy. It's dark in here. This attic room has been my home and office for almost a year now. I've certainly had some unforgettable experiences whilst I've lived here. Like that spade over there. Many of debates took place regarding that spade, shovel, whatever the hell it is. But I think now the time has come. Oh, he's gonna leave? Time to bid this place farewell. Naruhodo? Oh, what are you doing in my room? I mean, hello. Oh, Professor. Are you alone? I didn't hear any sound from Suzuto's room. Yes, Suzuto-san went out after dinner. She took a carriage. Something about an important matter she needed to take care of. Ah, I see. I want to thank you for what you did earlier. Oh? With Iris, I mean, when the subject of her father came up. Lord Clint Van Zykes. I made up my mind many years ago never to tell her who her real father was. It's what was agreed with Genshin, after all. I mean, it makes sense. Lord Clint Van Zykes' final wishes before he died, you mean? Yes, I've had to take some rather drastic steps at times to protect that secret, you know? Calling Suzuto back to Japan 6 months ago, for example. Oh, we're gonna find out about that? That's why? When I read Suzuki-san's report about his final days in London, my heart nearly stopped. You stumbled across the crux of that terrible case. The dog's collar. Right. The description of the Baskerville insignia left me in no doubt. Baskerville? If you decided to investigate that insignia, sooner or later you'd have made the connection to the Van Zykes. And to make matters worse, Suzuto knew of the unpublished story as well. The story that Iris had written based on my notes from the time. Ah yes, The Hound of the Baskervilles. Yep, she even titled it as such. Exactly. It was a work of fiction, but based on the grim reality of a huge beast of a dog being used as a murder weapon. Man, I think that was all based on a real-life event. A dog with the Baskerville family emblem around its neck. Armed with those two clues, I feared you and Suzuto might arrive at the truth. So I invented that story about having collapsed to justify her leaving London and returning to Japan at once. All in aid of halting any investigation you and she might have been contemplating. Ah, it was to hide the truth, I see. Something I've never understood is why Suzuto-san came across that manuscript in Japan, though. You know, Iris's The Hound of the Baskerville story, I mean. Sholmes sent it to me. That was before Suzuto left Japan. He was very troubled about what should be done about it, you see. I'd read it and carelessly left it on my desk, which is where Suzuto came across it, of course. Ah. I mean, I remember all this, but a lot of this happened in the last game. It's like, this is going to be a game, or not even this one, both games, I'm going to want to replay again, for sure. Like, you know, knowing what's happening, and I feel like there's so much, especially since I had to play this over a long period of time. I bet you there's a lot of stuff I'm just forgetting and missing that I'll come to realize when replaying. Ah. It was the only case Sholmes and I ever pursued that I didn't record in meticulous detail. I was stunned when I discovered the young Iris had pieced together so much of it from my paltry notes. Sholmes and I discussed the matter and decided that we couldn't allow the story's publication. Okay, it's all making sense. Trying to hide this truth from Iris. At that point, I returned the manuscript by post to Sholmes for safekeeping. So you did all that to stop Iris from finding out the truth about her father? That's right, because Sholmes had told me how astute she'd become. However, having witnessed events in court today, I must say my opinion has somewhat shifted. Oh? I think at some point in the future, the time will come for Iris to know the truth. And when it does, well, I believe it will be for the best. It'll probably happen one way or the other. I think so too. Actually, Professor, I wanted to talk to you about something too. About returning to Japan, I have a feeling. Judging from that expression, I'd say you've come to a decision, have you? Yes, I have. I will be returning with you to Japan. Are you quite sure? If I had to guess his reasoning, it's because he was able to make, like... I think the reason Mikitomo wants me to come to Japan is to kind of help... You know, help advance the legal system there, and... You saw what Ryunosuke did here, right? He uncovered this deep corruption, so maybe he feels he can do good for the Japanese legal system as well. I'm really only here as a substitute for Kazuma. But he's here in Britain now, as originally intended. Locum student Naruhodo doesn't really have a right to stay, I think. I see. Looking back now, when I first arrived here in February... Ooh! What a long time ago that was. My becoming a lawyer just seemed to be the way things turned out. With Kazuma, Sudazo-san, and Mr. Sholmes all gently pushing me in that direction. It was a very cool origin story, I must admit. I spent the best part of a year immersed in this world, but always aware of a seed of doubt inside me. You're an imposter. Until today. Standing in that courtroom earlier, all doubts vanished from my mind. Would you say you found your resolve? I was totally focused. I was sure of my belief in my client. And I was sure I could see the trial through. And that at the end of it, I finally realized no one else chose this path for me. I chose it myself. The path of a French lawyer, eh? Yes, that's what I am now. That's what I'll be going back with you to Japan as. And that's the path I'll be following for the rest of my life. And my ancestors will follow. Well, it sounds like you've made quite a resolution there. I have. Very well then. I must say, it's extremely welcome news. As I say, he was hoping we'd come. I shall make arrangements for your return first thing tomorrow. But I don't imagine we'll depart for a few days. Yeah, I was gonna say, I won't be ready by tomorrow. Now with the symposium having been cancelled now, such a shame. Never mind. I'm sure there'll be other opportunities in the future. Well then, I'll bid you good night. Thank you. I really do have to go to bed. Suzuto! Suzuto-san, was she listening in on all that? Maybe she was just in her room. I just wanted to let you know I'm back. The question is, will she be coming with us or not? She is my assistant. I hope she stays with me. But she also might want to stay here with Kazuma. Did you, hear what your father and I were discussing? I'm sorry, I did, yes. I couldn't help but... Oh, how much did you hear? Did you hear the whole thing? Well, from the part about Iris' real father, I think. In other words, from the beginning. Yeah, maybe. So you made up your mind. You return to Japan and continue working as a defense lawyer. Ah. Yes, I'm sorry. I really should have consulted you about it. I did want to earlier this evening, actually, but you'd already gone out. Oh no, that's quite alright. I already knew that it's what you'd decide, Naruhodo-san. You did? Oh, this music. Have we heard this before, this song? It's pretty. It's like a lullaby. Suzuro-san. Ah, yes? I suppose this means it has to be farewell soon. Oh, she's really gonna stay? I suppose. But you're my assistant. You'll be a great help to Kazuma going forward. He has Van Zykes. I mean, I know he's a brilliant lawyer, but he's new to the British courtroom. He'll certainly benefit greatly from having a brilliant judicial assistant at his side. I'll do my very best. Aww. Suzuro. I mean, I get it, but... I wish I could say it, but I just can't. I can't ask her to come with me. After all, she was always supposed to be coming to Britain as Kazuma's assistant. It's growing late. We should both try to get some sleep. I'm sure you must be exhausted after today. Yeah, tell me about it. Oh, yes. You're right. Before I retire, let me just say one more time. You really were quite splendid in court today. Thank you, thank you. So if you ask me, anyone who thinks of you as a substitute or a locum should be ashamed of themselves. Suzuro-san. Thank you. Much appreciated. Can I do one more Suzuro takedown like old times? No, I'm good. November 7th, 5:42 a.m., Port of Dover, Quayside. We haven't been here since the end of last game, I think. This is when we saw Suzuro off. I can't believe this day's finally come. You're really leaving then, Runo? I'm afraid so, Iris. Thank you so much for everything. I don't know what I'll do without your wonderful cooking and delicious tea. Oh, I wish you weren't going. Aw, I'm gonna miss you guys. But we have to come back and visit. Say you will. Of course. I promise. It's sad because this is us saying goodbye too. Like, it's not just Ryunosuke leaving. I have to say goodbye to these guys too, and it's actually emotional. Well, it was a very brief reunion, but it was a pleasure to pursue a case with you again after so long. For a while, at least. It felt like old times. Yes, I suppose, on reflection, there's something to be said for it. Having a little fun once in a while. I'll just go and say goodbye to the professor as well, I think. Alright, Iris. You do that. Honk! That's my boat. That's my boat. Yes.
I've just checked, Naruhodo-san. Your luggage is already on board.
Yay, again, voice acting.
Such a beautiful morning. Perfect for embarking on a journey, isn't it?
Before I set off, I'd just like to say how thankful I am for everything you've done for me. And give my warmest regards to Kazuma, please.
Come with me, please.
Actually, I think you ought to give him your regards in person, don't you?
Wait, is he here?
Sorry? Ryunosuke.
Hey, buddy.
Kazuma! What are you doing here? Do you really think I'd miss my best friend's departure? Thanks. To be honest, I'd been looking forward to our wild time tearing up the streets of Her Majesty's capital, but,
Not gonna happen anymore.
Well, we'll have to save that for another time.
Yeah, I can come back. I can come back as a tourist.
Personally, I'm looking forward to facing you in court again.
Me too. But we're both defense lawyers, so.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Unless he's walking the path of a prosecutor.
I'm going to become a prosecutor. I'll stay
Oh.
in Lord Van Zeek's tutelage for the time being, but before long,
Oh, that's right. His name is Zeeks. Thanks for reminding me, Kazuma.
I intend to be just as formidable as the Reaper himself.
I'm gonna take on my father's legacy and continue his work. It's like, oh crap. But your father was innocent. I don't care.
Actually, Ryunosuke, I have a favor to ask.
Name it.
No hesitation. Love it. Wait, you giving me a sword?
I'd like you to take care of this for me for a while.
Karuma? Why?
Why me?
Because I've seen it now.
Why no, why me?
I've seen what's inside me. The demon that reared its ugly head that day. It was only for the briefest of moments. The last time I came face to face with that inspector.
That's right, you tried to
But
kill
it
him.
was unmistakable. I wanted to kill him.
So you don't want the temptation.
I've always.
But you don't think he's worthy of the
demons
sword.
that live inside people. And now I know there is one in me. The fact that it very nearly consumed me is something I'll carry with me until the end of my days. While I devote my life to fighting those whose demons have got the better of them. As a prosecutor.
Ah,
So, that's what you've resolved to do, is it?
Until I'm ready to face the demon within me. To slay it once and for all. I leave this in your care. If you'll take
thanks. I absolutely will.
Of course I will. I'll keep it by my side. Always.
He's already proven that he's a really good prosecutor. And it makes sense.
Until we meet again, then. You have your path to follow, and I have mine.
Naruhodo-san?
Please say you're gonna come with me.
The path you're going to follow from now on. I wonder if I might follow it at your side, and
Yes!
unless I'd be a burden.
Yes! No, you're not a burden. Yes! Yes! Pack your bags. Hopefully they're already packed because the boat's about to leave, but come with me. I just swoop her into my arms. Bye, Kazuma. I just jump from here to the ship like a superhero.
What?
Absolutely.
I would very much like you to come with me. But
Kazuma doesn't need you.
You're so predictable, Ryunosuke.
I am?
Honestly, you never change at all. But that's what I like about you.
You mean you knew about this?
I wonder if he asked her, like, to come with me.
It was the evening after Lord Van Zeek's trial came to an end. She came to see me at the prosecutor's office.
Really? Or when I had that conversation with Professor Mikotoba?
Oh, that's where she went after the party.
So, you'd go with Ryunosuke back to Japan?
I love that this is all voice acted. It makes it extra emotional.
Yes. I know it's unfair of me to follow my own interests like this.
No, of course it's not.
Coming here especially to tell me. You're a stickler for etiquette, aren't you? Well, what are his feelings?
We've never discussed it, of course, and Naruhodo-san has made no such suggestion. I worry that perhaps I'd be a burden to him.
Are you kidding me, Suzuto?
He's just as much
Yeah.
of a stickler for etiquette as you are.
After all we've
He
been
never said
through,
anything before he was asked.
there's a reason you're the greatest judicial assistant after all.
But I'd feel happy knowing you were with him. Look out for him on my behalf, will you?
And make lots of babies. What did you say? Nothing.
Of course.
Sato-san.
What do you think, Naruhodo-san?
I say yes.
With you by my side, no trial would seem too daunting. So if you're willing, I'd be honored if you'd come with me. Together we can take on the world.
I'm terribly incompetent, but if you
No, you're
help
not.
me, I'd be delighted.
What makes you say that? You've been very helpful.
Oh, no,
Like,
no,
extremely so.
If anyone's terribly incompetent, it's me.
She's like, yes, I can't argue with that.
Your luggage, Susato-san. There's no time. The ship's going to set sail any minute now.
That's what I said, but I'm assuming she's packed, I hope.
It's alright, there's no need to worry. As it happens, my luggage is...
I stuffed it in my bra. Ah, there we go.
It is?
Your fine judicial assistant has everything in hand as always, I see.
Honk!
Ryuno, your ship's about to leave!
Wait, is that Iris? Is that the first time we heard her speak?
Time to go then. Look after yourself, Ryunosuke.
That was Iris, right? Who else would that have been? Some random passenger?
Draw your sword.
I want to get another animated cutscene. I feel like we haven't gotten one of those in a while. In fact, I feel like we didn't have many of those in this game. Maybe I'm mistaken.
One day, when our paths cross, once more, we'll fight a duel of words across the courtroom. A day I eagerly await, as a lawyer.
I've been waiting to hear you say that, partner.
Yeah, as it should be. Oh, what a shot. What a shot. I like it.
Don't forget me then, Kazuma.
As if I could, Ryunosuke.
And Mr. Sholmes, thank you so much. I'm very much indebted to you.
I was about to ask if we heard him speak, but we have heard him speak. He spoke when we first met him in that cutscene.
Indeed, Mr. Naruhodo. I believe you are.
I'll never forget all you've done for me during my time in London.
Quite. I should like to think you will remember your debt of gratitude.
Oh, you bet.
Especially when I visit you in your country.
Didn't my voices do these guys justice? I sound just like them.
What? The truth is, although many are ignorant of the fact, the world is far smaller than most folk realize.
Ah! I'll add in the appropriate
To
laughs.
Japan one day.
Yeah, you can wear that
Yes! with
stupid
open-
pink kimono.
open arms, Mr. Sholmes. Oh, that sounds wonderful! I can't wait!
Iris! Correct me if I'm wrong, if that's the first time in both the first or the second game we've heard her speak. She's adorable. Yes, Iris definitely has to come along.
Let us conclude that this is to be merely a brief parting, my dear fellows.
Now that I think about it, has he been the one who's
And
been
that
like...
brings us to the end of my adventures in Great Britain.
Has he been the one who's been narrating the introductions? I don't know.
A peculiar twist
Bye.
of fate brought me halfway around the world those many months ago.
I'll miss you,
But
Iris.
that was just the start of my journey.
By the way, Clint Van Zykes is your dad. Bye. Sorry.
Still, I'm confident this won't be my last meeting with the
Oh,
friends I've made in London.
This is so reminiscent of the last ending, except it was Suzuto leaving
Together
alone.
again.
Now we're together.
No doubt, the first words
Ah.
I hear will be,
Come, the game is afoot.
Oh, is this one of the books? Did you write a book about us?
The ship, with our friends from the east.
Oh no, this is the
sailed
narrator.
steadily towards the distant horizon.
Maybe this is supposed to be Mikotoba.
But Sholmes' face was alight with joy. Times may change, but a steadfast friendship will remain true, Wilson. We have but to gently close our eyes, and we are with our companions once more.
So I do just that. And when I do, I can hear his strong, familiar voice ring out.
Objection!
Objection!
Yeah! What an ending! What a frickin' ending!
Again, Runo.
In the third game that I hope we get sometime. Oh, what an ending, what an ending. The great Ace Attorney. Alright, guys. We have reached the end of the entire series. Oh, I've been thoroughly inundated with inquiries about my cinematograph, but I'm no purveyor of electrical goods, and what of the promised closed court secrecy? Anyway, I've decided an absence from London is in order, a sojourn in distant, the Empire of Japan, perhaps. I understand that wardrobe class incurs no charge whatsoever. Sorry, it auto-scrolls, so I kind of have to try and keep up with it. And he was using some big words. I gave a little note to Hurley the other day. It just said, "Thank you for everything, Daddy." But it made Hurley cry. And I gave him some lotion I'd invented as well, to dye his hair red safely. But he said that might make him cry too, so he'd rather not use it. Oh, I love the pouty face. Yeah, that was a one-time thing. It's a memory he wants to forget. In those days when I was known as the Reaper, I felt your presence at my side. So that's gotta be Clint in the picture. Once unable to bear the burden of that grim pseudonym, I even retired from the courtroom. Despite everything, I still wear your prosecutor's badge with pride. But the darkness that once beset me is no more, as you too are no more. In the words of a young foreign friend of mine, I must stride forward toward a brighter future. I believe in you, Van Zykes. Can you smile for me? No? Okay. Ginny and Toby! The boss left a note for me, you know. And I can read every letter now, A to Z. The whole lot. I'm a smart girl. It's cleared a load of stuff up. The boss was trying to protect me, see? Well, that's exactly what me and Chief Inspector Toby are gonna keep doing for Londoners. Yeah, okay, so she is staying a cop. I only wish I could have said how grateful I was before he, you know. Don't worry, I'm sure your feelings have reached him. No doubt. Ooh. I like the violins that came in. Gina, the truth is I'm not the upstanding fellow you think I am. You might be a diver at heart, but it's a good heart. You reminded me I need to be true to myself. I'm talking to you from the grave. I've got one more job to take care of before it's ta-ta to London town for the foreseeable. And then I've got to complete your education in the art of detection a la Gregson, as they say. Okay, I guess you were saying this before he died. Your Excellency, this man is accused of illegal entry into the office of Minister of Foreign Affairs. I forgot about you. Objection! Oblique overstatement overruled. The minister has been detained in Britain anyway. Who is this Catherine's counsel for the defense? Then women are forbidden to enter the courtroom. Oh really? My friend Susan sounds in the British courtroom all the time, doing a wonderful job. You bastard. Oh my god. Perhaps I should have engaged the services of a regular legal team. They just threw everybody at me. All the side characters that are not very important in this game. Nah, I would say Natsume was. I am shocked Suzuru's friend didn't appear again at all. Hey, look, mother and daughter reunited. Mama, is it true about Japanese people? Are they experts at filleting corpses? Yes, they are. Fish corpses, on the whole. I like to have my own filleting skills. You don't mind, do you, Mama? Yes, I do. I'm not a corpse yet, am I? No. And I'm glad. Ah, mother and daughter. I liked, we didn't see a lot of her, but I did like, Maria. Dr. Scythe was a cool character, too. Hey, Brain! Here I am again in Great Britain on the invitation of my dear old university friend. He sent me a very nice letter saying he'd like to show me around now that everything has settled. But what have I done? I was so excited I picked a splendid hotel and now I can't afford the bill. Oh, Barrack, come to my rescue again, please! I wish I would just vanish into thin air sometimes. Ah, he regrets everything. It's okay, Hairbrain. There. I want to pat your fluffy head. Yay! Oh, look who it is! When I went to make the waxwork impression of the killer in the cemetery, I realized what had happened. But even in the witness stand of the highest court in the land, I could never speak of it. The Lord Chief Justice and I had struck a bargain, you see. For a faithful reproduction of the visage, there is nothing we Tuspels would not do. I don't care. Will you marry me? Please? Our children will be beautiful. Okay, bye. Everyone calls me Gossip. I sell jaunty little tidbits to passers-by, you know? Everyone calls me a Peppino, and I sell the spaghetti. It's more red than my head, eh? Everyone, they call me. None, I cannot do it. This is ridiculous. Oh, Daly, how charming. You made lots of new friends here, I see. Just don't drop the soap. Yes, and when we're released, we'll all be going to strike it rich together. What a team. Oh man, these are always fun. A lot of interesting pairings. When I was accepted on the foreign study tour, I knew exactly what path I had to take. And however it might have ended, I knew that I wanted you there to see it. If I'd ended up in the dock, there's no one I would have rather had defending me. But now, thanks to you, there's a new path I wanted to take. I'm sure we'll meet again in the courtroom, my friend. Until then, I leave Karama in your care. You got it. I'll try not to break it. I mean, any more than you already broke it. Oh, this music. This game has had some wonderful music. Some really great tracks. We're on the ship. I've made some tea, Naruhodo-san. It's important that you rest whilst you can. Once we arrive in Japan, you shall be busy establishing your new office. I'm so delighted to be accompanying you. After all, your talents have been recognized by a great detective. Because you really are the greatest of lawyers. A great ace attorney, some might say. That's what the game's called after all. Ah, I'm so glad. I can't even put into words how glad I am that she went with him. Look at us. We took a picture before departing. And screenshot. Aw, I'm gonna miss you guys so much. Oh look, there's Waggy. Little Waggy. I guess that's a wrap. There might be more credits, but it's slowly been setting in that this is the end. Oh, we have this little section. There was a similar credits ending in the last game. Oh, there's Suzuto dressed as a boy. And her friend, who I don't remember the name of. This takes us down memory lane. Our prosecutor, the cameraman, who killed Giselle Brett. Suzero again, who changed really quickly out of her outfit. And there she comes with me. Iris, Sholmes. They both did the, My Dear Fellows. Miss Green, Shamspear. I'm gonna miss you guys too. Not as much as the main cast, but Miss Bumblebee, I forgot her name, and her worker bee. There's Natsume doing all those ridiculous poses, except we get to see it in like his full body. Waggy, come with us. I liked Drebber a lot. He was a cool character. These two that had very similar accents to the you know, the redheaded guys. Miss Tuspel in all her glory. You can come with us too. You can walk behind Waggy there. Why not? And there's two favorite coroners. The only two I can think of, actually. Harebrain and Van Zykes catching up. Oh, of course these guys won't be together. Sandwich, Gossip, and Venus, right? And there's Gossip again. Mr. Vigil and Mrs. Vigil. Hey, it's Caden. What's up? I don't know how interesting this is. I'm literally just saying everyone's name. Our red-headed guys. Peppino and the other one. That also starts with a P. Oh, Inspector Gregson, who's no longer with us. And Gina. What are you doing, Mikatova? Oh, they do. Okay, I love this. Don't mind us. We're just dancing the night away. Oh, Judge Goku, I want nothing to do with you. He's gonna smack us. He's gonna kill us right here with his gavel. Suzero, it's been a pleasure. The Great Ace Attorney 2 resolve. Finland. Finished. Done. Oh boy. That's a wrap, guys. The Risen Resolve. I guess that's for completing Chapter 5. That is a cool shot. Cool picture. Okay, here we are, back on the docks, so... Wow, I've just reached a little over 3 hours of recording. There's always a lot, even when, like, the case itself ends, there's always a lot to, like, the conclusion, especially this being the last game. They had a lot, you know, a lot of stuff to finish, a lot of plot points to, conclude. And goodbyes to say and all that, plus the credits and, you know. So, I was able to do it all in one recording. I'm very certain this will have to be split into at least 2 episodes, but I couldn't stop. I got to a point where, like, I just had to see it through to the end. I don't even know what time it is, but I'm sure it's super late. I've got to get to bed. But, of course, before that, I will give you my thoughts on the game, and I guess the series. It was nothing short of amazing. Like, again, I've said it many times throughout the series, and I'll say it again, especially now that I've beaten it. The interconnectedness of everything, not just in this game, but in the last game. It was very clear that, you know, in the last game, they had a clear vision for this one as well. Like, they had to have written both parts in tandem. You know, I know I have, and I'm sure you guys have, like, you know, watched or series or read books or whatever where, like, maybe the first one connects to the second and the third, but it's very clear that maybe that wasn't the intention from the start, and that things were made up in the second one to fit into the first one and stuff like that. But the way they did this, it was very clear that they put little nuggets, little pieces in the first game and stuff that would carry over into the second and have much greater significance. So I really appreciated that. I feel like this, as a series, this did that better than any of the other Ace Attorney games, because like I've said before, for the most part, there's some crossover, but for the most part, each, Phoenix Wright or Ace Attorney game is kind of a one-off story. But this game did a very good job. I mean, even like the Edgeworth investigation games, like each one of those also felt, like one-offs, like their own isolated thing. But this really felt like a duology. And I almost felt like the second game didn't almost feel like a sequel. It felt like it was just a direct continuation. Like, almost as if this was just one long, big game. And I mean that in a good way. The music was excellent. The plot twists, I mean... It's kind of funny, because I think even in the first game, I had said Stronghart... Like, I kind of saw Stronghart as, like, a possible villain. Like, he just seemed like that imposing, powerful figure that would come back and be the main villain. I didn't know if that would be the first game or this game. And clearly it was this game. He was the big bad guy who was orchestrating everything. So I wouldn't say that aspect surprised me, but there was so many twists and turns to even get to that point, right? It was just exciting from beginning to end, and I loved being along for the ride. I fell in love with the characters, especially on main cast. Suzuto was a fantastic assistant, That's like a staple of the Ace Attorney games, you got Maya to Phoenix Wright, and oh shoot, what's her name? Is it Trucy, right? Phoenix's daughter for Apollo. Kay Faraday was Edgeworth's assistant. They're all like young girls or whatever, but Suzuto deserves to be in the pantheon of greatness because she was a fantastic character. Kazuma was wonderful. I had no idea we'd see him again. I really thought when he died in the last game, that was it. So it was cool seeing him back in such a big way. Sholmes and Iris, great. I really had a soft spot for Iris, though. She was just a wonderful character. I'm glad that there was some mystery involving her, right? Like, I'm glad she was a pivotal part. Everybody had their purpose. Nobody was just there for the sake of it. Like, everybody was very important. Finding out Mikitoba was actually Sholmes' assistant all along was really cool. I mean, I can go on and on. I gotta, of course, talk about Van Zykes, because as I'm sure I've said previously, the prosecutors in all these Ace Attorney games are usually some of my favorite characters. That would actually be fun to do, like, a prosecutor ranking video or something. All the prosecutors from past games. It's been a while since I played some of them, though, so maybe I should replay the entire series and do that or something. I don't know, but... I mean, some of my favorites are, like, obviously Edgeworth is a lot of people's favorites. I also liked Gato in the third game. Blackwell was really cool. Like, there's so many. But yeah, Van Zykes was great. Such great, character development too, He started as this kind of somewhat racist, And I mean, I know he had his reasons, but, he couldn't trust the Japanese, so he couldn't trust me. And it wasn't something that came easy. His trust had to be earned. And the fact that we were able to earn it, and, And again, we uncovered a horrifying truth for him, but... He has the utmost respect for us, and I have respect for him. He was just such a great character. They all were. I've been talking about the music. I thought the music was great. I always loved just hearing the different tracks. And it just really fit the, I mean, especially in these games, the music is such like a mood setter, Like I guess that's true of any game. But, especially when it's like a visual novel where there isn't like spoken dialogue to like increase the intensity. When something's going down and like the epic music starts playing, it really revs you up. So the music was great, as it is in all the Ace Attorney games. Yeah, I mean, I'm just sad to have reached the end. I really am. This has been had to have been about a year I've been playing this, because I took a break between the first and second one a little bit, but what a ride. I love this series. I love the Ace Attorney games. This was great, and I'm glad I got to finally play him. I kind of want to try jumping into some, like, if you look at the series I've been playing, most of them are visual novels. Like, I want to kind of branch out. I'm interested in some JRPGs. There's some that I really want to play that it's been a blind spot for me and I haven't gotten into. Persona is one of them. I think I might have played a little bit of one of them and then just dropped off of it. It might have been 3. I can't remember. But, I don't remember it at all, so I haven't actually extensively played any of the Persona games, so that could be fun to do on the channel. You can, of course, give me recommendations if there's stuff you're interested in. But I've been talking long enough, my voice is killing me. So that wraps up the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, both games. And one last thing before I go, I had said, it's not all over because we have the escapades, which is under the special contents. These things, it's basically, I think there's 8, yeah, there's 8 of them. I don't know if they're all connected to the second game, maybe half are connected to the first, and half are connected to the second game. But they're just little shorts, fun little scenarios. I don't think they have any bearing on the plot at all. I think Spirit of Justice had these, and they're fun. So I figured I could do like 1 or 2 bonus episodes, depending how long they are. I could split like these two, like the first 4 in one episode, the last 4 in another. We'll see, but so it may not be completely over yet. Anyway, I gotta sign off. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video and this series, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. That will really help me out. Hit the notification bell so you know more when any of my future series begin. And of course, share the video and the channel with your friends, family, and loved ones. Thank you for joining me on this grand adventure, and I'll see you next time. So take care, and bye-bye.